All right, we are live again on the Writer's Block Live tonight. We'll end up seeing this number will start to update as we go. But we are live again on the Writer's Block tonight. I am joined by Trussville City Councilman Alan Taylor. We'll have Hewitt-Trussville head baseball coach Jeff Malden on in a little while. He's gonna join the stream in a bit. But Alan, just first appreciate you taking the time after a workshop and coming in and joining this thing.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I'm looking forward to this and really looking forward to getting to chat with my favorite baseball coach too.
Yeah, me too. So let's dive right in. People will keep filtering in as we go tonight. And, you know, these things are automatically recording. So some folks will watch it tomorrow and the next day we'll upload it to Spotify, maybe tonight, depending on if I'm still awake, maybe tomorrow, and people can listen to it on the way to work. But first, just tell me what your thoughts are. You know, we just had the municipal election. I'm curious what you think about how it went and this new group, this new mayor, and 4 new city council members. Just kind of your general thoughts on the group.
Well, I think it's a great group, and I was really excited to see the slate of people running, and you know, especially some younger people that are really interested in our city and want to see our city continue to go forward. And so I'm just really excited about the people. I think Ben will do a great job as mayor. I'm really excited about the slate of council people, and it's just exciting for a guy that's been involved for the last 13 years as a counselor, but really involved long before that. It's exciting to me that people are so interested in our city and care about our city and want to put themselves out there for this, because it's not always fun.
No, it takes a lot to put yourself out there for that. That's for sure. What do you think this group as a collectively, like what do you think their strengths will be?
Well, I think one thing it's a group of really, really smart people. When you think about what they do, what they all do for a living, and kind of where they are in life. These are smart folks. These are folks that I know they love our city, but they're also very successful people and people that are just really smart. And so that's it's going to be fun to watch what they do.
Absolutely. And I'll just go ahead and let y'all know as y'all filter in. We've got a few right now, but it'll continue to pick up. If y'all end up having a question as we go, for Councilman Taylor, just, wherever you're watching this thing, probably on Facebook, just comment on it. I'll see it, and we can ask that question. If you're on YouTube, same thing. Just make a comment. I'll see it pop up, and we can ask that question. This group in particular, like, what are they up against the next 4 years? What are they going to face?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the budget situation. We've said along the way, this SSUT tax is for real. Online shopping is for real, and it's going to change, how cities do business. We're tax dependent, and there's other cities, and some cities we compare ourselves to that are more ad valorem tax dependent than they are sales tax dependent. We are not there. And so that's going to be the biggest challenge, because I don't think online shopping is going to go away. I just think it's here to stay. It's convenient. It's easy. And so I think it's there. So I think that's the biggest thing, is to keep our city moving forward, keep us growing, keep our city employees, staffed the way they need to be staffed, so that we can offer the services that we've offered in the past and do it on probably a more limited budget.
Yeah. How long can, like obviously this SSUT, especially this year, has really kind of, I guess, taken the headlines, so to speak, especially out of Tuscaloosa with Mayor Maddox. But how long can something like that take to remedy when you end up having to do something on the state level?
Well, and it's what most don't understand. It is a legislative thing, and so there's more underdeveloped or underprivileged counties that really get to advantage of
Yeah.
having this SSUT tax. So, while it hurts us, it helps others. And so it becomes a political issue, and it's not one that, our representatives, Shay Shelnutt and Danny Garrett and Dan Roberts, those guys, I think would love to see us do something that would help us. But, they're up against other areas that, this benefits them, that where maybe not so much online shopping's going on, but they're getting the benefit of it. And so it becomes political. So to answer your question, I think it's going to take some time, and I don't know, may never really get fixed the way it ought to get fixed.
Yeah. I was talking to, how do I put this? I was talking to a city leader in another municipality recently, and that person kind of didn't know how to feel about SSUT because that particular municipality, sure, they have some big box. They have some places that you can walk in the brick and mortar and buy stuff, but by and large, that city doesn't have a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like, I mean, it's probably more benefiting them than not. And so like you end up, like you said, it becomes kind of that political issue where you end up, some cities are on the fence, some are staunchly opposed, some love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard.
And I think, we've got, and our state legislators have done a great job throughout our state, but, there's some counties in Alabama that's behind on, having internet service and, broadband and all of that. And so, if you don't have a lot of that, you can't shop online either. So they're not shopping at all online. And so, but yet now they're benefiting from that. So I think I don't want to say it's a terrible thing for our state as a whole. It's probably okay, but it does come at a cost to a place like Trussville and some of the other cities, Tuscaloosa, some of the other cities that are really reliant on sales tax, and it's going to hurt over the next few years. And it's hurt this last couple of years.
It has. Are there ways that, like Trussville specifically, but any municipality that's hurt by it, that has a lot of stores, Trussville has a lot of shopping opportunities. Are there ways that those municipalities, Trussville in particular, can get creative to like have people, like convince them or persuade them to like, hey, just drive down the street,
we preach it all the time. Our chamber does a great job of saying shop local. And, that's not just a tagline or a buzz line or a feel good line. It really does help us to shop local. And, Trussville, we've got some big box, but Trussville has some local, pharmacies that, that benefits our city for people to shop at those. And so that's just the biggest thing to me is, it's just not something we say, but we do need to shop local.
Yeah. How about these next 4 years for this incoming group? Obviously last year, property tax vote gets voted down. What is their role going to be? What are they going to be tasked with in helping Trussville City Schools for that 4th elementary school?
Well, we said in this term, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to find a way to do that. And I think the school system's working hard right now to try to find some ways to get some of these projects done. And we're going to have to, over some time, set some monies aside to help make that happen. Trussville's going to continue to grow. And look, I'm one of the ones that I want to see us continue to grow. I want us continue to see us move forward. Yeah, we can do it in a controlled, fast fashion, but I'm a firm believer. A city and a business or anything, you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. There's no sitting still. And so I've said before, you don't turn the spigot on and say, let's grow for a little while, and then turn the spigot off and let's stop it for a while.
Yeah.
But we got to move forward. We got to continue to move forward. And I think Mayor-elect Short, and I think this council will do that in a responsible way. And but we do need to continue. People want to live here.
Sure.
People want to come to Trussville, and I'm proud of that. I mean, it's a great city, a great place to live. Our schools are as good as anybody in the state, and so people want to come here, and we want we want them to come here. And that continues to help us with building houses, creates ad valorem tax, businesses coming here, create sales tax. And so we want to hopefully to continue to push that.
How do you like move forward, grow, but balance that like strategic, what is it, plan, strategic, slow the growth, whatever the phrasing is for that? Like, what goes into that? How hard is that to do?
Well, I think it's, I think Mayor-elect Short has mentioned, we need to look at our subdivision regulations, or we need to look at some of our ordinances or that kind of thing. And I think this group will do that. And, we want to continue to build, and we want to continue to grow. We want to do quality. And one of the ways that you do that is you kind of control the regulations on your building. And so I think that can happen. But it's going to be a challenge for them to, with all the things that's going on, to get in and get those things looked at and get them done. But I think we can do that. We want quality housing. We want our housing, that over the last, probably 7-8 years, the housing market in Trussville's continued to rise.
Yeah.
It's not unusual now. I've heard it this week, houses in Trussville selling for, over $1 million and $1.5 million, and, homes in the projects selling for over $1 million, homes in subdivisions. I remember when we had maybe our first house in Trussville that went on the market was for $1 million. And we were like, we never had $1 million house in Trussville. And now it's kind of commonplace. And
crazy.
Those are the kinds of things that'll keep Trussville strong. If we keep our school system strong, and we keep our housing market up, and we keep our property values up, we'll see Trussville continue to thrive.
There's not, like, you tell me, but like, is there much room left in Trussville to grow? Like, we won't say commercially, but because Deerfoot Parkway is just kind of sitting there waiting. But residentially, like, is there a whole lot of space left to go? Not
really. I mean, there's not. I mean, we're fastly approaching kind of where Mountain Brook has gotten over the last few years, where you become landlocked, and that's not a bad thing.
Sure.
That's one of the ways you can control growth.
Yeah.
And so I think we're approaching that. There's still some areas where some homes can be built, but I loved as a council person to hear people come in and they're going to build 20, 30, 40 houses, and that price point was going to be in the $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 range.
Wow.
I mean, that is, to me, that is so good for our city, for that kind of thing to happen. And not only are they doing that, but they're selling them. So it's incredible.
Well, they're not selling them to me.
They're not me either. They don't work at the church and buy those. So, yeah.
That's crazy though, to think $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 houses.
It's pretty commonplace now here.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah. Well, hey, I'll just say real quick, as we've got a few more people in here, if y'all end up having any questions for Councilman Taylor as we go, just put them in the comments. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're at, I'll see it pop up. If you got any questions, just feel free, and we will vet them before we put them on the screen. I want to talk about you. We did a podcast several months ago. I did those really early. Why'd you decide that now is the time not to run again and to call it a career on the council? Well,
I've served for 13 years. This last term was 5 years. It got extended by the governor, and so I've served for 13 years. And really, that's long enough. I turned 67 just a month or so ago, and so I'd kind of thought this whole term I would not run again. And had some people talk to me and say, we may have a big turnover, and what's that going to look like? But when I started seeing the quality of people that were putting their name in the hat to run, a lot of these folks had gone through Leadership Trussville, and I'd got to know them through that. And I mean, they just just people that loved our city. I just felt like I went back to where I was originally, that, it's time. It's time to step down. It's been great. I have loved serving our city. I've done this for 13 years, but, a lot of people know, some don't know. Prior to running for city council, I mean, I served I served on the chamber board. I was chamber president. I served on the school foundation board. I served as school foundation president. I served on the athletic foundation board, served as the athletic foundation president. So for a lot of years, I was out here volunteering, helping raise money for our schools. And, I just didn't wake up one day and say, I think I'll run for council. I was working in our city. I love being in Trussville.
Yeah.
And we moved here. We built our house here in 1994, and I just love being a part of this community. And so I was working and serving. So I've been involved for a long, long time, and I just think it's time to let some fresh ideas come in, and I think we got the people now that can do that or want to do that, and I'm thrilled about it.
Yeah, it is a good group. You also spent time in the Jackwood Stadium press box.
I did.
Right?
I was a stadium announcer for about 10 years. At one point, I was doing football, baseball, and basketball.
Yeah.
And it just took a lot of time, but I loved it. And I kid Chad Summers who does it now, and the school, and the school finally decided they would make that a paid position to do it. I did it all those years as a volunteer, and I was thankful to do that. I really did. I always tell them they got their money's worth with me. They always got their money's worth. So
did you ever worry near the end of Jackwood Stadium's tenure that you'd be up there and that would be the night that it just went like that?
Yeah, there were some times, at one point it was condemned, and we were like, but Jackwood Stadium is just you're a history guy. It's just historic, nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I've loved us playing games there, and people don't realize, we had a lot of volunteers. There was me and my wife and two other couples. Would go out on Thursday nights and we painted the end zones. That was our job.
Oh, wow.
None of us had kids playing, but we met out there. We painted the Huskies in the end zone, and we did that every Thursday night before a home game, and then we'd go eat. We made it a social event. So, that was good times to go, and the coaches would be doing the HT in the middle or the Husky head or whatever's in the middle. But us volunteers did the end zones, and that was we had a great time doing that.
It's well timed that you say that. It was I only know this off the top of my head because I posted about it this week doing the history stuff. But it was, let me do some math. But it was 76 years ago this week that stadium held its first game. It was September 16th, 1949.
Wow,
was the first game in that place. Beat Mortimer Jordan 25-6. Didn't win much after that for a while.
Yeah, I was unfortunately I went to Irwin High School in Center Point, and unfortunately I was the first Irwin team to lose to you at Trussville. And it was in Jackwood Stadium, and I remember it well, in triple overtime. So it was
triple overtime.
Yeah, it was a fun night.
Yeah, like I think I've read, I would have to pull it up, but like when they were trying to get the field ready and they were out, like they had players sprigging the field, and they were still, it's like they were starting to try to sprig the field, but they were still pulling rocks and slag and all this stuff out of the field just to try to get it ready to play on. So I can't imagine what that surface felt like that first season in 1949.
Well, boy, at the end though, our facilities people, our school did a great job keeping that field up. And when you got a grass field like that, and we'd have some seasons where it would rain, in the middle of the season, and by the end of the season, it'd be almost a mud bowl. But they did a great job keeping that field looking great. I was always proud for people to come to Trussville and play at the Jackwood Stadium. Maybe it was old, but it was always well done.
Yeah, I had there was a game a couple of years ago. Oak Mountain, at least in our general area, seemed to be one of the last schools to go to turf. And I remember this because it was the night you cover high school football from the sidelines, you pray for zero rain because it just ruins your night. I can't keep
Yep.
stats. I can't do video, photo. It ruins everything. And it poured down rain, and everyone else that was out covering the other 10 or so games we were covering are at turf. So like, yeah, they're getting wet too, but their shoes are kind of fine.
Yep.
I was at Oak Mountain and I covered that entire game from the track because the entire field was a mud bowl.
Yeah.
It was awful. I remember like after having to talk to coach after, and I was like, I'll wait on you to, I'm not meeting you in the middle of the field tonight.
And now it was interesting. I was on the sideline last week for the Hoover game at the Hoover Met when we beat Hoover. It was a great game. But I was talking to Lance Walker before the game, and that will be our only game this year that we play on natural grass. Yeah. Last year we did not play a game on natural grass, so everybody has turf now, and it's I think it's a good thing. And the turf's improved.
Yeah, they got new turf.
In my day, many years ago, there was a few. We got to play at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We played Tuscaloosa one time. We played at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and that old turf there, it was like playing on concrete. Yeah. But it's nice now, and it's easier to maintain, and it's a good thing, and it's just really easier for the schools to kind of keep that going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's you don't miss practice. There's like no turnaround time now. If it rains, okay, it's fine. You don't have to wait.
Yeah,
you just go back.
And now the baseball fields are going to it too, and you'll hear Coach Malden. He may say, if not, we'll ask him. But, we got our turf on our baseball field, I think last year. Yeah. Maybe this will be our third year. But, before that, Coach Malden would tell us how many practice days they missed during the season because, if you get a week's worth of rain, it might be 2 weeks before you can practice on that field again without tearing it up. And so, we're playing against people who had turf and they're not missing practice day. Now, if it comes a monsoon, within an hour and a half, you can go get out there and go.
It drains. Yeah.
And Coach Malden will talk more about that, I'm sure.
I'm sure
it's a game changer, and we now have it at our city parks too. And we did not miss any games this year. And I got grandchildren playing, and I sat out there a couple of games in the rain. It's raining, and they never stopped because. And in years past, they would have called that game off. Plus, they'd have called the next 2 days games off. And so it's really just a game changer for athletics.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned you were you first elected 2012? 2012. What's been the best moment in 12, 13 years?
Yeah, I think just to see the progress of the city, to see our schools flourish. In 2012, our schools were not very old. We were young and, still trying to figure things out as a city with their own school system. But to see our schools flourish, to see the downtown kind of develop. And, one of the things we talked about back then is, it seemed like to me, a lot of our children were graduating from here at Trussville. They were going off to college and then they were going somewhere else. And even if they were coming back to Birmingham, they were going to Homewood or Vestavia. Sure. They were not coming back to Trussville. And so we talked about back then, what do we do that would make our young folks, our newly graduated people want to come back to Trussville. And I think we've done that. And I think the schools and I think our downtown and what we've done in our parks has caused, and now you see it's crazy. A lot of folks that went to school with my children now live here, and they're buying big old houses too here. So, so it's that's been fun to watch. Is to see the city. That's been probably the most satisfying thing.
What's been the hardest?
Gosh, probably over the years. There's always things that pop up that are difficult. Probably this year's budget and we had to have some hard conversations this year when, we realized that, the sales tax was not going to be where it needed to be. It wasn't going to, maybe reach where it was even last year.
Right.
And so when we started talking about that. And I told our council folks and the mayor, we all got together. I said, I ran a manufacturing company for 22 years. I got an opportunity to lead a bank in this area for 8 or 9 years. And so I've, being in the manufacturing business for 22 years, one of the things, we had ups and downs. If you're in the manufacturing business, you have times where you have too much to build. You have times when you don't know what you're going to build. And so it's trying, but in those situations, we would get our key folks together. I would get our management folks together. We'd go in a room, we'd shut the door, we'd lock the door, and we'd start throwing out things. What can we do? What do we do with personnel? What do we do to fix this? And everything was open. We would just, people would just throw things out, and some of them were not great ideas, but we were just throwing everything we could off the wall to see what would stick. And then we would come up with a plan out of that. Unfortunately, on city council, you can't do that. You can't, the five of us and the mayor can't go in a room and shut the door and let's talk about all the things. Could we do this? Can we do that? It all has to be done in public.
Yeah.
And so when you do that and you start discussing those things in public, then, people start weighing in and, why are you thinking about that? We all done this. And so that's probably the most difficult thing coming from the business world into the public sector like this is, everything you do is in public, and there's just times that families, businesses just need to go into their rooms and shut the door and just hammer these things out and talk about them. And unfortunately for city, you can't do that.
Can't do that. You have people like me calling you on it if you
do. Absolutely. And that's okay. I mean, that's, you get some criticism about, you start discussing things and you throw things out just for discussion. And then all of a sudden, they're taking it and running with it. So
that's right. I want to take just a second. Y'all that are watching have probably seen this on the ticker down below and on the logos up here in the top. You see that I've been changing them every now and then. These the Writer's Block live shows are for the next 8 weeks, starting tonight, being sponsored by two different groups. So I want to tell you just real quick, 360 Lending, the first one, Navigating Paths to Home Ownership. Make sure you visit my360lending.com. So I appreciate Lisa McClellan of 360 Lending sponsoring the podcast. She's been in Trussville more than 20 years, opened 360 Lending in 2022. And also appreciate Mark Turner. He is your local criminal defense attorney. So thank him for sponsoring this podcast, this live show. Make sure you visit markturnerlawfirm.com or call 205-568-7003. It's my first ad read. Did I do okay?
I did great. And,
all right.
Gary, it always warms my heart to know that we have businesses and people in Trussville that are running businesses that want to be a part of things like this to get information out. And, we have all kinds of sponsors at our school for sporting events. And we have all kinds of sponsors for things that the city does. And, for these two folks to say, I care enough about Trussville to say, I want to get this out to the people. That's what makes the city great.
For sure. I'm going to clip that and use it to try to get more sponsors.
Absolutely.
Anybody and you want to send my way.
Send them your way.
Absolutely. We tried to do that today a little bit. I threw it in at the last minute at the chamber luncheon, but didn't stay on it too long.
And you did a good job with that today, by the way. That was very
I appreciate it.
It was really good.
It was fun, Let's see. Before Coach Malden comes on, we have one comment. We're going to throw that one up there. That's Ben Horton, newly elected soon-to-be city councilman Ben Horton. So thank you to the businesses who are supporting the Writer's Block and our city. Thank you for the comment there, Ben. Good to see you today. While we wait on Coach Malden, what's next for you? November 3rd. What are you gonna do?
I'm still working. Again, I've had an awesome career It's been great. You know, I was a banker, then I ran a manufacturing company, then I got back into banking, and that's a fun story. You may have heard me tell it, but it's a fun story of how blessed I've been in my life with my work things. And then, you know, about 10 years ago, and it's hard to believe it's been 10 years ago, I felt this calling, this urging to kind of leave the corporate world and go to our church.
Yep.
And, you know, I told our pastor, my last years of working, I just want to make a difference. And I want to make a difference at our church. And so I'm hanging out there now, helping with the finance and helping with the budgets. And, I've done that for 10 years now. And so
Wow.
I'm going to continue to do that for a while. And, but you know, one of the things I said when I said I'm going to kind of step away is I have 7 grandkids, and I have 7 under 10 and under.
Wow.
And so 3 of them are here, 4 of them are in Ormond Beach, Daytona area. And so I just want to be able to go and just spend more time down there with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn around and the 10-year-old down there is going to be in college, and I'm going to be up here, you know, working on city
Yes.
council. So
Yeah.
it was time for me to kind of do that. And that's kind of what's next for me. I want to spend some time with
Quality time.
with my children and my grandchildren.
Smart move.
Yep.
All right. We've got our special guest. We're going to bring him on. Bang. There he is. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
No, we can't hear him.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Say something again.
You there?
We got nothing. Oh, no. Let's see. We'll pause for a second while we get this audio.
Can you take this off right here?
That's just the closed caption.
Can you take it off so we can see what you're doing? No.
We may need some technical assistance real quick.
I hope you.
No, I'm texting somebody. Hang on one second.
Let's see.
Okay, y'all can hear him, but we cannot. That presents a problem for us in the room. Hang on.
You should have him.
All right, try again, Coach Malden.
Can you hear me? Nope.
We can't hear you.
Did they want it?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
want me to
up.
try a different computer?
I've got it on. That's output. I got nothing. Just keep that in here. We'll just be on a delay. All right, we're going to try this on a bit of a delay.
Okay. What do I need to do?
You're
That's
fine.
not going to work. Hang on.
Could it be your
You want to mess with this real quick and see if you can help me? Stand by.
Can anybody hear me?
All right, stand by.
Yeah. Speakers. Speaker. Try that.
Yeah,
No.
I've already tried it once. Hang on. Let me get back into right here. Oh, wait, I think.
Something on mute.
No, I don't have it muted. Try it now, Coach Malden.
Can you hear me? Nothing.
I don't understand what's going on with it.
I mean, I hear him.
Do you hear me on there?
I can hear him.
I know, but we can on here, which is the biggest problem. No.
Is, try to bring him full screen and see that. Like, take y'all off.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't know.
What do you think it is?
Sorry. How do you normally do it with the, like, do it like you normally do it?
Just like this. Try one more time.
Can you hear me? Nothing? Are you on?
Hey, we're new at this.
It's all right. Oh, you can't hear me.
Oh, yeah.
Text him and ask him
But
to
for
send
some reason,
it
it's
to a
not.
different computer.
I'm not hearing anything on it though, even though it's up. So it's got to be something where it's connected.
Let's do one microphone straight into the, plug that cable.
This right here.
Yeah,
It's on there.
straight into the.
It's on his computer because they can hear.
Nothing like looking at yourself.
All right, we're gonna try one more time.
All right. Can you hear me?
Take it, put it on top. You hear him at all?
No, he can hear us, but I can't hear you.
Bring it on.
Yeah. I tried doing the audio right here, within StreamYard and changed it to this default. I'm gonna try this. No, that's not gonna be it though. Stand by. One more. Give me a Go Royals or something.
Go Royals.
Sorry. I don't know.
I don't know. I've got all the settings and all that exactly where I normally do.
Okay, unplug the microphones and use your computer model.
Could it be my computer?
Straight.
Well, there's.
Slide. Don't worry about the back.
So just that one.
Yeah, not try to do your computer audio.
And that's output.
Input to your laptop. No.
Webcam audio. Okay.
Now,
Try us now.
Go Royals.
What?
I end it. Just end it and look
What do you say?
wrap it up. We'll
Try to come back in.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to end the stream for right now, and then I will holler at you in just a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back.